Hello, hello to all you wonderful, fantastic, and beautiful people, and thank you so much for joining me today. And I couldn't be more excited to kind of really start figuring out my rhythm, and of course, surprise, surprise, getting another video out to you guys. I am very excited about this. I am finally kind of slowly starting to figure out my schedule, especially for this new year, for getting videos out. As far as work goes, I'm kind of getting into more of a set schedule, being as the holiday season is now over and it's not like the crazy busy holiday season at work. So it's a bit more relaxed and just kind of chilled out. And so I'm able to more so get a schedule going for myself, not just at work, but also at home, in how I want to progress in getting videos out to you guys. As of right now, it seems that twice a week might just be viable. I'm not going to guarantee twice a week, but I will at least try and guarantee once a week. The way I've kind of been working towards doing everything is more so doing something where I record in the mornings and kind of piece it together. So record a little bit every day until I have that video completed. And then once it's completed, do all the editing and then doing the voiceover and then getting it posted. So rather than I would before, where I try and complete it all in one day and overwhelm myself, I'm doing it a little bit at a time, piecing it together, and then getting it out to where I don't feel rushed and I don't feel like with work on top of it, I'm overdoing life, I guess. I guess the best way for me to describe it is like for myself personally, I have come to learn that like if I feel overwhelmed with trying to do too much at once, then I kind of just go F it, I'm not going to do anything. Which granted, I obviously still go to work and like take care of the house and everything, but as far as like when it comes to art, especially if I get overwhelmed, I can't actually think creatively the way that I want to, and then I get frustrated with what I'm putting out, and then I just don't want to put anything out there because I don't feel like I'm actually doing my best, I guess is the best way to try and put it. Because I always feel like I want to be happy with what I'm doing for obvious reasons. And a lot of times when I get overwhelmed and I try and draw something, I more so rather than being like, oh, I'm really happy with that, I'm just kind of like, oh, yeah, that's cool. I'm done, you know? And I'm sure there are some of you who can agree with that, and I'm sure there are some of you who are like, that's dumb, but it happens. All the same, jumping actually into explaining this illustration, I really kind of had an idea jumping in where I knew what I wanted to do for the background. And you'll see when it comes up, but I kind of had this simple idea for the background, and so it started from there, and then I kind of built on, and I was like, you know what, I think we'll go, I knew the color for the background, I'll explain that first. I knew I wanted like a light grayish blue, so it was more of like a dark blue, but it was a faded into more of like a grayish tone, and also with a little bit of like purple tints in there as well. So from there, I also knew that I wanted one of the primary colors of this piece to then also be kind of like an olive green. I knew that I wanted to put that somewhere, and I didn't know if I almost made her hair green, and then I was like, you know what? No, let's make a cute like top green. So I was kind of going for this top that is more of like, has like a mesh upper to it and in the arms, so where it's kind of see-through, but it's also primarily there, and then also had like the dark bodice to go and cover like the rest of her. And that's where my thought process kind of was. And then as I did the green top, I was like, well, what am I going to do for hair? And I didn't want to do brown, even though I think brown would have looked really nice and would have been very lovely. The brown that I had originally mixed, I just wasn't happy with, and I couldn't find like a brown tone that I was like, yes, this is the one. So and then instead, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do red because I love red hair, and being that I kind of run in the strawberry blonde landscape, I decided to go with the red hair and the blue eyes, put a little bit of myself in there, kind of, and I mean kind of. But yeah, it kind of all started from one piece and then built and built and built, and it's where I was saying in the last week's video, or in the last video before this one, I should say, is that I really wanted to start working on backgrounds. So once I kind of had the idea of the background, I wanted to kind of build from there. And I don't plan on doing that every time, simply because I feel like the more you change it up, the more creative that you can be with it, and the more you kind of creative you get your mind to being. And with this one, I've been working on different kind of elements as far as just sketching outside of videos that I've been doing, and I really wanted to add a little more texture as well. So I took one of my Prismacolor Kohl Erase pencils, and I took it in black and just kind of added a light texture to the shirt to create a little bit more depth to it. And then I also added a little bit more of like the strands of hair in her hair, not only with a darker tone of watercolor and a lighter tone going out towards the strands that are out there, but also, to create that kind of depth and dishevelment. And then with that, this is also, I think, one of the first watercolor pieces too where I heavily focused with leaving light spaces in her hair rather than going back with the jelly roll and creating the white little highlighted spaces. And it was kind of fun, and I really like the illusion or the creation that it gave as far as depth to the hair. And here I am just trying to think of the right words that I want to say. But I also took that same Kohl Erase pencil and I created like empty triangles in the background, and I feel like it really brought the illustration further together than I thought it was going to. Like when I was looking at it and I just had the watercolor filled triangles, it felt like it wasn't quite finished. And then as soon as I added the Prismacolors, I was like, or like the empty triangles, I was like, oh, this makes a lot more sense. But I think it came together really well, and I plan on experimenting more and also having fun with different kind of backgrounds and different illustrations. So yeah, we shall see where this 2020 art adventure continues to go. But thank you so much for watching. I hope that you guys have a fantastic day and that you don't get bored of my ramblings, because there is more to come. Believe you me. Anyways, I appreciate your faces and thank you so much. Take it easy, and I will see you all in the next video.